Hello, this is Timmy Nafso, Executive Vice President of Fortis Payments. And today we actually received a question regarding EMV, which is the chip and pin technology. And a lot of businesses are actually asking this specific question. Is it important for me to be EMV compliant, right? And to answer that question, there's two sides of the coin. You may be a doctor's office, you may have relationship-based processing, you work with your clients a lot, and you're not overly concerned about somebody saying or claiming it was a fraudulent transaction because you know your customer or your patient or your guest or whatever it may be. But there's two sides of that. EMV does protect you from fraud, which is very important. It shifts the fraud, the liability of fraud, to the issuing bank. So you do want that technology in place. But in addition to that, there's another vulnerability that's associated with PCI compliance, how you handle cardholder data. And when you're not using an EMV terminal at the point of sale, you actually are in a more vulnerable situation. You've heard of a lot of breaches that have occurred where there's somebody offshore that's sitting there and monitoring or puts malware on a computer somehow or hacks into a computer, and they're sitting there watching all these cards come through your system and catching them and essentially selling them on the black market. That is very dangerous for a business owner, and that is a reality that we have to face, that our security is intact as a business. So we want to make sure our firewalls are where they need to be. We also want to make sure that if you are currently not PCI compliant, again, that's an important word, reach out to your processor. If you're working with Fortis, reach out to our PCI compliance team here, and we'll make sure that you get scanned and that you're certified, because it's not just about how I accept the card, but it's also how that information is transmitting over my network that's equally important. So we suggest all businesses become EMV compliant and use an EMV device where they accept payments in that manner. And in addition to that, that you are PCI compliant and you get scanned to make sure that your business is protected. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. Thank you again for listening.